go ahead and hop right into today's segment
of the music news.
Let's get it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ash the Artist, and I'm here to deliver y'all some music news.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. So let's go ahead and hop into our first topic here. What are we talking about? Drake and Kendrick.
Drake?
Yes, so we're going to go ahead and hop into some new music. We got some new albums to talk about. 2 new albums just dropped from Drake and from Kendrick, and we're going to dive into them a little bit here today. Again, any feedback that y'all have throughout the segment from the audience as well as anybody online, please feel free to share it. Drake, let's go ahead and hop there. Drake just dropped a new tape called Honestly Nevermind, and it's been getting a lot of different mixed feedback. Drake definitely kind of surprised everybody. He kind of dropped it out of nowhere. And then everybody was like, really surprised by the sounds that they heard. It was a lot of dance undertones. Did anybody here in the crowd happen to hear Drake's new tape?
Has anybody heard the new album yet? Drake? No?
Nobody heard it yet?
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm a Drake fan now. I haven't even listened to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so nobody in here has listened to it yet. Well, we got one back there. What do you think about it from what you've heard so far?
It's probably Drake's worst project.
Drake's worst project, he says. You are not the first person I've heard to say that at all.
And see, I've heard snippets of the album and stuff like that, but like I haven't really gotten to sit down and listen to like the full thing. But like kind of like he said, it hasn't been songs that I've heard that kind of like really struck me to really go listen to the rest.
Right. And honestly, I have to say, Drake really went a little different with this. You know what I mean? I think people were really used to him being like lyrical, wavy, melodic, things like that. But he actually collaborated with some really big names in like the dance community. Some of those being that the whole album was produced by someone named Carnage, whose house alias is Gordo. Now, another person that he worked with, that guy's from Baltimore. So he's kind of bringing that Baltimore dance sound to the album.
Okay.
And then the other person, he has this other guy who's like an African producer who does dance and like EDM sounds. So that's who he collaborated with this new album. Now, he's gotten a lot of mixed feedback online, too, about it. One of which being from Rolling Stone. And they were like, a breezy Drake dance album seems like a good idea, but the half-measure house beats and the lackluster songwriting prevents it from really popping off. So basically they're saying it's really just missing something to make it pop. It's very just monotone dance sounds, which, I mean, there's a demographic out there for it, but Drake's fans wasn't expecting that, I feel, so.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, so definitely anybody who hasn't listened to it yet, go check out Honestly Nevermind. Let us know your feedback, you know what I mean? Come back, comment on the video if you happen to listen and get a different opinion on it. The other one we're going to talk about is Kendrick. So, has anybody listened to Kendrick's tape in here? Y'all haven't heard Kendrick's new tape either.
See, look, I'm like on the fence with Kendrick, right?
Okay.
Because my thing is like, when he first started putting music out, that shit was fucking fire.
Absolutely.
Fire music. But then he kind of just stopped all this like
for 5 years.
For 5 years, he stopped for a while, and then all of a sudden he came back, and like his comeback, I thought was gonna be a lot stronger. Honestly, like, don't get me wrong, he's a great artist at what he does and stuff like that. You know what I mean? He definitely represents, West Coast and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like being like someone who like listened to that first couple albums of Kendrick and shit, and then hearing this, and it's like. You know what I mean? I pictured him coming more harder and more, but he was more on like that, just, I don't know, that poetic, you know what I mean, telling a story type, like
a mad genius type too.
Exactly.
Like, I feel like a lot of artists get to that point where they think that they're just like Kanye, which I'm not saying that he's not like his own lane, don't get me wrong. But I feel like artists like Drake and Kendrick, they get to this point where they're just like,
what can I do next?
What else do I need to do type shit? I'll just, you know what I mean? And I kind of feel like, with Kendrick, he was on a hiatus for 5 years. He didn't drop nothing, put nothing out. He had that song come out with Baby Keem that a lot of people weren't really crazy about. It was a single, but then he came out with a tape. And the tape is called Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. And some people gave some feedback, like that pretty much the tape was really vulnerable. Like it showed he was kind of being controversial, talking about the N95 mask and about like political things. And he actually had his longtime partner was featured as the narrator of the entire tape, which was kind of cool because he's been with the same female. She's been holding him down, and she's actually featured on his cover art for the album too, which I thought was pretty sincere. But yeah, like I said, it's definitely something that I feel, again, people were a little disappointed. And I've been seeing a lot of mixed feedback online about it for sure. So anybody who hasn't listened to it, definitely take some time, check it out, give them that feedback for sure, because you never know, you might find a number on there that you like. So
right, for sure.
So shout out to Kendrick and shout out to Drake for dropping their new projects
and trying something different, you know what I mean, stepping out of the box of like doing the normal ordinary stuff that like I know I can do. You know what I mean? But how can I switch it up to gain a new demographic of audience? What can I do to, step into that, whole box and stuff? Because there is different lanes and stuff. And like Carnage, for them to work on it with Drake,
that's
like
a big deal.
That's a big name in the industry of music. You know what I mean? With the EDM and all that stuff too. So it's like, it just shows that he's linking up with the right people to be able to do these projects and stuff. I just don't think that he like executed it the way that he really wanted to, you know what I mean, or really could, you know what I mean.
No, I could see that, and I definitely agree. I kind of have to give Drake his flowers for at least trying to like do something left field. He was trying something new, you know what I mean. It's not always gonna be a hit, you know what I mean. Sometimes it's gonna be a miss. So we'll see. Like I said, hopefully the music will grow on us over the next couple of months, but we will see. So
yeah, for sure. And I feel like soon it's coming, but it's gonna be like that hip hop EDM mix of, you know what I mean.
It's getting there.
It's gonna be like the new thing types, you know what I mean. So yeah, for sure.
Because that's more of an international sound, like that dance EDM house. You know what I mean. That's what people were partying to. It's big in Europe. You know what I mean. So it's like Drake's tape is popping there, but in US they're like Like last thing I'll say about it, I seen the Joe Budden podcast actually, and they was just tearing it apart, you know what I mean? They was tearing it apart. They're like, I hate it, it's awful, blah blah, like, you know what I mean? So it's like they're not really getting that respect out there. So
yeah, and it's like, but at the same time, you can't knock it and be like, oh, I hate it, or this is not, it's just not my taste either. But at the same time, you don't understand what he's going through in his head to create that masterpiece, or, you know what I mean, his perspective on this album, or, you know what I mean, project. So
and even just his approach, like I said, Drake's not a rapper, you know what I mean? People forget Drake's not he's an artist, you know what I mean? Drake is an artist, and he is going to pass those barriers whichever way, regardless of what audiences like it, you know what I mean? He's gonna do it. So shout out to Drake, shout out to Kendrick. Let's go ahead and hop into our next topic then.
All right, our next topic. The next topic we're gonna be talking about is Young Thug and Gunna and the whole RICO case that pretty much happened in Atlanta and stuff.
Yeah.
So there was about like 56 counts, you know what I mean? And it was all against Young Thug and his YSL and as a collective, you know what I mean? And pretty much, like I said, it was in Georgia where they're from and stuff. And pretty much it was everything from like guns to shootings to lyrics to social media posts, like all that stuff. And pretty much like the conditions that like Young Thug and is living in right now, they pretty much say it's like essentially like solitary confinement, you know what I mean? Because he doesn't have any windows or nothing. And so it's like he was complaining about like how can he meditate, how can he exercise, how can he do things if he's in like a box literally with no windows and shit. So they're trying to figure out ways how they can like, you know, adjust that for him and stuff. And it's crazy because like I said, I remember our first couple podcasts that we did, our first couple episodes and stuff, we touched on the topic of like, you know, artists need to be careful on like what they say in their songs and what they're doing and stuff, because depending on what state you live in or depending on the situation and stuff, like, you know what I mean, they can use that shit against you and
absolutely
stuff. And like, so you have to be like, you know, conscious of what you're saying and doing and what you're trying and how you're projecting it to the world, you know what I mean? Use it in like a third perspective, you know what I mean? Third person perspective or some shit, you know what I mean? Switch it up a little, because like I said, for artists too to just be telling it how it is in a song, I understand it's expressing yourself, it's the emotions, it's real life shit, you feel me? But at the same time too, it's like, you know, you're trapping yourself into a point where they can now have all this evidence and stuff to use against you in the court of law.
Right.
And then you can't do shit about it because they literally have videos of you saying it and doing it. You know what I mean? So it's like,
which is crazy.
Yeah, for sure. So it's like, you know, I feel like once artists start to find that middle ground of like, you know what I mean, how to tell stories and how to project things and stuff like that, because like I said, but people feed into that energies too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they feed into all the crazy shit happening. Like it's to the point where it's like people are more entertained with the shootings and all the negative bullshit happening that they're not even worrying about the music that's really like coming out and getting pushed out and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's just crazy to think that, like, you know, even artists like ourselves are being like, you know, our lyrics, our social media posts are being used against us. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like we got to be conscious of that too and stuff, because, you know, I mean, shit. Look at what happened, you know, in history and shit with music and stuff. You know what I mean? With like NWA, Tupac, you know, Biggie. Like, you know, people don't want to hear this type of shit. People don't want to. You know what I mean? So it's like...
Right. And like the government or, you know, the feds, whatever, they don't want to look at it as art. You know what I mean? And but that it gets complicated. You know, there's actually a hashtag going around right now going off of what the story he's talking about called Protect Black Art. And it's all about, you know, not taking that art literal, you know? And it's just kind of... It's hard. It's complicated hard. Because, you know what I mean? You got someone who's from the streets on a video camera with a gun saying I just dropped so-and-so, and then you bring it to court and you're like, nah, it's a metaphor. You know what I mean? So that puts you in a hard position.
Because in the artist's eyes, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, yo, this is my life. This is all I know. This is all I've ever done. You know what I mean? So it's like they're painting that picture of like, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like artists also need to paint that picture of like, you know, do you want to live that lifestyle for the rest of your life? You know what I mean? Or are you going to do that shit? Because, like, eventually, you cannot mix what you're doing with your artistry with street shit. I don't, like,
Eventually,
you know what I mean? Eventually, it's going to catch up. So it's like, you know what I mean? Finding ways to take that route and just be like, look, I got some money now. I'm more, you know what I mean, comfortable in my situation right now. What can I do to make myself more comfortable rather than going back down the road of the streets and getting caught up in that? Now you looking over your shoulder every time. Now you can't even go do shows because you beefing with these people and this and that. And it's like, you know what I mean?
It's not. It just takes away from the point of you expressing yourself musically. You know
exactly.
What I mean? It's like you miss it.
It's almost like a distraction. You know what I mean? Like.
And I gotta, you know, play the opposite spectrum too, because it's like there's people who really about that life and post about it, but then there's people who are not about that life, and I feel like that's more. All right, maybe it's metaphor, you know what I mean? If you're working at Wendy's, but you talk about dropping bodies, you know what I mean? It's like that could be more of a metaphor, but at the same time, you don't know. That man could be, you know what I mean? So it's like. Just I encourage artists, you know, just be conscious of what you're doing. If you're gonna be brave, that's cool, but just be that brave later when they come to you and try to use that shit in court.
They had that same energy.
Literally, you know what I mean. Unfortunately, things are taken literal. You know what I mean. So it would be nice to have our art protected, but realistically, you know what I mean. You put yourself out there, you're vulnerable, and somebody is. You know, they could use it against you.
But but Ashley said too, there's a whole hashtag going on right now and stuff like that too. So it's like, you know, as a collective, as us fans, artists, and people, we could all be like, you know what I mean, finding a way to, like, you know what I mean, talk about this, bring more awareness about this, because people don't talk about this shit. People don't care about artist royalties and how if they're getting paid or not. You know what I mean? They're just worried if they're gonna make the next hit or whatever.
Right.
So it's like, how can we make sure that us artists and stuff are getting our credentials, our payments, our royalties, or you know what I mean, and all that stuff, and not get screwed over, like in the long run too. So
no facts. So, you know, definitely educate yourself. Be conscious of the things that you're putting out for the world, you know what I mean? Because again, you never know who can try to use something against you, but at the same time, be real, be yourself. Don't allow that fear to stop you from expressing your truth, you know what I mean? Because then you're going to be suppressed in a box like everybody else.
Just know that there's ways of doing it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Find the way to do it.
Yeah, but just don't end up like Young Thug or Gunna, you know what I mean?
Straight up, because
that's hard.
56 counts.
That's what I'm saying. How you bounce back from that?
And they're saying that most of them that are from the lyrics and social media posts, and they're saying that they are major backbone support to the case.
That's legit,
which is fucking
proof
crazy
and evidence that they're using in court.
Yeah, straight up.
Writing that lyric out.
Straight up.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I mean. Be conscious of what you're doing out here, and you know what I mean.
And I mean, the same shit happened with Bobby Shmurda when he did this. It was only about a week ago. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, come on now.
You gotta watch who you hang around with. It only take one person It's
Yeah.
it's true.
Nah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Straight up.
And that
Straight
comes
up.
back to people being around you, maybe not being as solid as you think either. Because, you know what I mean? You're so quick to try to be on some gang team stuff. But it's like, do you know who you're associating yourself with? Is it worth just having your entourage?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, because like, you know, like he just said back there, SG, it's like, you know, you could be putting these lyrics out here, then your homeboy gets jammed up and they're like, oh yeah, what he said in verse 2 was real. You know what I mean? So...
Yeah, straight up.
Literally, because he's scared. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yes, definitely be conscious of that. And yeah, let's go ahead and hop into our next story here, y'all. All right, so we're going to talk about some celebrities that have been coming to the DMV, y'all. So, it's a pretty exciting time right now for the music, for real.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, the DMV has a lot of talent. There's a lot of independent underground artists that are coming up. And I think it's great that, you know, the industry is starting to kind of drop little small seeds in the area, giving people opportunities.
For sure.
One of those opportunities that just happened was the Yemi Palooza, which was, you see the flyer on the screen there. They brought Little Skies out. They brought out PNB Rock, a couple other individuals, Tay Money, Landon Cube. So yeah, they definitely, and they brought local support for that show. They had people like Crystal Baby, Ridge Long. They had some individuals come open up for Little Skies and them, and I thought that was really cool, giving, you know, local opportunities to people. Just because, like, how are you ever going to get that chance to build your resume if people don't give you a chance?
Right.
So I thought that was pretty cool. The next show that we're going to talk about is something coming up next week, actually. This next one we're pretty excited about. So this is going to be at the Howard County Fairgrounds.
Yep.
And this is going to be the 2022 Wisdom Court Summer Jam. So this is going to be with who?
Mike Jones.
Who?
Mike Jones.
Back then they didn't want me, now how they all on me.
And like who? Mike
I'm
Jones.
waiting, anticipating. Sorry, let me stop. But yes, so Mike Jones is coming out to the Howard County Fairgrounds. Shout out to Wisdom Court Media.
Yes.
We're really excited for this one to go open up and share the stage with him. Wisdom Court, you know, they're people out here, pioneers, you know, who really give people opportunities. They were one of the first ones to give, you know, Ash and Alonzo an opportunity on the mic, for real. So definitely.
And the lineup is fire too. We got Jay Money and a couple other people, you know what I mean?
Literally.
So it's fire
The
lineup.
lineup is crazy.
Yeah,
Like I said, Jay Money, Billy Live, Ridge Long,
Sammy Snow, Ridge Long.
Ash and Alonzo, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, we definitely coming with the vibes for that one. So if anybody's interested, we are setting up a carpool. If anybody from the area wants to travel out together, we have tickets on deck for $35 too. So
We're gonna try to set up a little easy up 10 or something, you know what I mean? Get our little people situated and stuff.
yeah, so
We're gonna be like, Mike Jones.
literally, and you know what I mean? It's just the first of many opportunities. So hopefully you guys can make it out the Summer Jam.
Oh, and it's bring your own booze too. So
yeah, bring your own booze, bring your bug spray, because y'all gonna be outside. And if anybody knows me,
Talk
y'all
to 'em.
already know I'm gonna tell you, watch out for ticks. It is Lyme disease season. The ticks do not care what your political views are or how much money you got in your pocket. They will bite you and give you Lyme disease. So be careful, okay? Wear your bug spray this summer.
yes.
All right, y'all. So
And
let's
even your sun lotion, because it'd be hot out
hold
here
up.
too.
Let's slow down. Make sure you put your sunblock on, because this sun be beaming out here. And we be going outside without bug spray, without sunblock, and we come home tired, sick, feeling all types of way, and you're like, why do I feel this way? So take care of yourself. Hydrate, sunblock, and bug spray at all your festivals this summer.
Straight up.
That brings us to our next event.
Dun. Our next event is gonna be July 15th at the Maryland Theater.
Yes,
opening up for Life Jennings.
Yes, we are super psyched about this one. Shout out to Untapped Music and Entertainment Series. Shout out to Earn.
I was gonna say we got Big Jers, we got Sonny Bronco on the
Yeah.
lineup, we got Ash the Artist and Alonzo. You already know. You know what I mean? So the lineup is fire, and definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely, I'm really blessed and excited for this. And again, us getting this opportunity opens the doors for other individuals to get those opportunities too. Just because the type of people we are, it's like all we need to get our foot in the door one time. You feel me? That's all we need. And then from there, it's like, boom, we're going to open it up for the rest of the music community. So it's like, we shared this on here just to kind of give y'all that little inspiration. Like, anything can happen. You know what I mean?
straight up.
Like, Life Jennings is just the first of many artists that are gonna come out to this area. But it's like, keep working hard, keep grinding, and building your catalog, and these opportunities are gonna come knock on your door too. You know what I mean?
And like you were saying, there's a lot of like progression and stuff going in this area from Hagerstown to West Virginia. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of people are developing things. Like in Hagerstown, they're doing the downtown baseball field and stuff like that, which is probably going to be an event center. And then where the Sun Stadium was, that's going to be a whole event center with like 2 indoor soccer fields and stuff. Then we have the cultural trail, the arts and entertainment district,
the luxury hotel they're building so that they can bring people out,
artists and
let them
people
come
out here
stay
and stuff.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
so
again,
things are in the works.
Yes, you
like,
have to have vision though.
Yeah, and especially for like entrepreneurs right now. Like right now is the time to like be game planning on like, okay, what's my next move? You know what I mean? Because this is chess, not checkers.
Facts.
So it's like you got to be 3 steps ahead of the game before it even really happens. You feel me? So it's like, yeah.
And to be honest with y'all, just to be transparent, you know, we didn't have the Life Jennings show first. We were asked to perform for that. We were asked to perform for that, and at first we didn't get it because of the demographic. They were like, oh, you know what I mean, it's an older crowd, R&B. But then as soon as they realized like what we can bring to the table, they're like, okay, bet, you guys are on. We want y'all at the show. So it's like, even if somebody tells you no at first, that don't mean no forever. You know what I mean? It's like, you gotta believe in yourself and show them your worth. Otherwise, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, we told you no, you gonna take that? All right, see you next. You know what I mean?
Literally.
So definitely, like, don't give up on yourself. Keep pushing. Those opportunities are out there. And again, July 15th, just come out if y'all are available. We're gonna be blessing that stage and just really putting on for the town and for every independent artist out in this area trying to get their name out there. You know what I mean? So
straight up.
Yeah. So
and just talking about like events and shows and stuff like that. We also have a Wednesday night live show that we do once a month and stuff in Hagerstown at the Black Box Studio in Potomac Street. So yeah, like, you know, that's a good opportunity for people to come out, you know what I mean, interact with artists and stuff, network and stuff. We have a VIP hour, which is pretty much like, you know, you get catered food to you and stuff. You sit in this little VIP area with the artists, the people intermingling and stuff, and then VIP will get first seats to the show, and then we let general admission, everybody else come in and stuff. And our catered food is bomb.
The caterer is crazy. Her name's Creative Creations. It's soul food. Man, we've had her the past 2 events, and she's basically sold out every time because it's just been ridiculously good. And like, another thing is, you know, these events are curated music events. They're not showcases.
Exactly.
We really cater to the artists. We make sure y'all got the dressing room. Y'all got everything you need. You got the lights that go to your music. You know what I mean? Like, that's how y'all should be being treated. So anybody who wants to get involved with Wednesday Night Live, please contact us. Our next event is actually, I think, July 22nd, I believe. We'll be posting that on our website and on our social media. So please tap into CKG. We have opportunities for everybody from all walks of life. So
for sure.
Yeah, so I think that concludes our music news. Yeah.